Hello, I am so excited to be here with you. My name is Jen. I want to first start off by just congratulating you for taking the time to be here to watch this video. By saying yes to learning more about enabling codependency and our addiction with our loved ones is an empowering place to be. And you don't get here unless you choose something more for yourself. You choose to do something different than what you've been doing that isn't working. So take a moment, give yourself a hug, say congratulations. This is a win. We want to celebrate this win because it is big. It is big in shifting and changing, breaking the chains of and the cycles of enabling addiction and codependency with yourself and your loved one. So honestly, we've gotten here because we have at some point or another handed our power over to other people, places, or things. That is really what codependency is. When we hand our power away, we are powerful beings. But we often, because of subconscious thoughts, belief systems, and life experiences, believe that we should be different than what we are. And when we do that, we often hand our power over to somebody else for acceptance, for love, to feel validated. But what we don't realize is as we do that, we slowly become disconnected from who we are. Yes, I am a mom of an addict. Both my ex-husbands struggled with addiction. I know all about becoming disconnected from myself. I speak from my personal experience of over 20 years loving my loved ones with addiction. We become unconscious. We become disconnected from who we are. And in that, we become living basically on autopilot, just going through the motions, barely alive, barely surviving. We aren't present. We aren't connected to ourselves or anything else for that matter. And this creates so much dis-ease in the body, pain and suffering, anxiety, depression, maybe hair loss, digestive issues, so much dis-ease. We are not in alignment with ourselves because we are caught up in these cycles. Addiction, literally, we know this scientifically now, that addiction is basically brought on by pain and trauma. We want to avoid the pain, dealing with the suffering and the pain and the trauma that we've experienced. So we want to numb ourselves. Our loved ones may be choosing drugs, alcohol. There are so many forms of addiction. As a loved one dealing with somebody with addiction, we have our own pain and our own trauma that gets triggered. And we begin to become addicted to saving, solving, fixing our loved ones' problems. We create and we get caught up in these cycles of codependency, which is handing our power over to somebody else. Our happiness, our well-being, our health depends on our loved ones' ability to be happy, their recovery, right? If they're happy, we're happy. If they're at peace, we're at peace. If they're unhappy, if they're suffering, we are unhappy and we are suffering. This is the cycle of codependency. And then enabling. Enabling is wanting to fix somebody else's problems and avoid dealing with our own. And we feel validated when we feel like we're helping or trying to solve or fix somebody else's problems, but we're not fixing or solving our own. Addiction accumulates and combines all of these things together, and it creates such chaos and disconnect and dysfunction and destruction in everybody's lives. So you're here because you want something to be different. You want something more for yourself and your loved one. You're recognizing that the cycles and the patterns, the Groundhog Day that I like to call it, isn't working for you anymore. You're recognizing that what you're doing isn't solving, changing, fixing anything. All it's doing is creating this Groundhog Day, this cycle of repeating the same things and expecting different results and finding yourself in the same place of suffering, not seeing your loved one getting any better, things probably getting even worse. You're here because you want to learn something more, something different for yourself. You want to break the cycle. You want to try something else. And that is a powerful place to be. Powerful place to be. So we have a choice. And I have a saying, we can either choose or change. Choose to stay the same or change. Just as our loved ones need recovery, we too need recovery. We need recovery as parents, as loved ones, as wives, as mothers of our loved ones struggling with addiction. We have our own trauma healing to deal with. We have our own systems that we need to break within ourselves. That's where taking charge, choosing to take responsibility for your own health, happiness, and healing, your own recovery, begins to break the cycles of enabling addiction and codependency. And this is a powerful place to be. The way that you can start is to recognize the areas in your life that you have handed your power away. How have you handed your power away? Being real and honest with yourself. Awareness is key. Acknowledgement and acceptance that where you are right now isn't where you want to be. And by doing something different, you can change and shift the dynamic with your loved one. So a big piece of the puzzle here, and we all get caught up in this, that we think there's something wrong with us. This is where the subconscious belief comes in. These belief systems that we're not good enough, that we're not lovable enough. If we were better, our kids or our loved ones wouldn't be going through what they're going through. These are all BS. It is bullshit. They are belief systems and commands, subconscious thought that doesn't serve us. Our subconscious thought is really responsible for 99% of our thoughts. And the majority of those thoughts are not supporting us. Our subconscious thought also automatically, help us to breathe, help us to digest our food. These are all part of the subconscious mind. But there's a big part of the subconscious mind that is actually disempowering us. And this part of the mind is the part that we can actually reprogram and rewire with positive thoughts that actually help us and serve our highest good and help us to break these cycles that we find ourselves in. By healing trauma within the body, our bodies are energetic. So we have trauma stored in our body that is creating this dis-ease. And by learning different tools and strategies, mindfulness strategies, meditations, yoga, there's so many different tools that we can use to begin to heal the body. And then also learning tools to regulate your central nervous system. Again, things like breath work, awareness, being able to learn to sit with your emotions. Our emotions are good. What they do though is when they take over and consume us, we aren't moving from a empowered state. We're living and allowing our emotions to rule us, which isn't healthy or helpful. So by doing some simple strategies, which you will receive in the next video, and some of the tools that I'll be providing for you to work through a journaling prompt, what or how have you handed your power over to? Some breathwork strategies to help you to regulate your emotions and your central nervous system, and begin to be able to sit and acknowledge and recognize the areas in your life that you're ready to take back control over, to take back your power. And we can do this. You are in charge of your own life. You are the creator. You're the co-creator of your life and your reality. So by changing the way you think, by allowing yourself to look through a new lens at addiction, at yourself, and come from a place of compassion, come from a place of unconditional love for yourself and your loved one, you can begin to restore your life, reclaim your happiness and your peace, and live an authentic, empowered life. By doing this, you become a role model for your loved one. You begin taking care of yourself in self-love and self-compassion, starting to focus the attention on you, doing the things that you want your loved one to do for themselves. You can be the change. You are the change. So allowing yourself to heal opens up an opportunity for your loved one to heal as well. I like to say setting boundaries is about protecting your own worth. And when we protect our worth, we're showing people, teaching people how to treat us the way that we deserve to be treated. So when we're trying to establish boundaries with our loved one, a simple technique that I love to use and have used and still use with my loved ones is, am I loving my loved one with this decision, or am I hurting them? And am I helping the addict, or am I helping my loved one? That's a simple strategy. And if you can get really honest with yourself, You're going to choose to love your loved one, not support the addict. Very quickly deciphers between love and living in fear. When we live in love, we're centered, we're in alignment with our truth, and we are serving our good and the good of others. When we're living in fear, we're coming from a place of disempowerment. So this is a beautiful technique to be able to come to empower yourself, to set boundaries, to love yourself and your loved one unconditionally. So take some time today to sit down, take a few deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Allow yourself to center, place your hands on your heart, and allow yourself to become one with the beat of your heart, centered and aligned. And then take a few moments and write down on a piece of paper areas in your life that you have handed your power over, where you feel disempowered in your life. And anything that you write down, I want you to reclaim it. I want you to tell yourself out loud, I take my power back. I take my power back. You have the power to turn this around right now. You have the power to be the one to break the cycles of addiction, enabling, and codependency. You can be the change that you're seeking. It's your responsibility. The only thing that you have any control over is you. But in doing so, in taking on that responsibility, you are the change, breaking the cycles within the family dynamic of addiction, enabling, and codependency. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much. I celebrate with you this empowered choice to show up and watch this video today, to learn something new, to understand that there is nothing wrong with you. You just need to take your power back. And I'm happy to help you be in this flow, to be part of this change. I thank you for trusting me, for listening to me, sending you so much love, so much gratitude, and sending you just peace, and blessings. I look forward to seeing you at the next video, where we'll be doing a beautiful breathwork cycle to help you to stay empowered, to regulate your central nervous system, and to be able to sit in one with your emotions and learn to regulate your body. Have a beautiful day.